No, I know. I'm talking to the one that's here.
Oh.
We got a lot of people here. Make sure that they know where the masks are.
Masks, ties, and wooden tables, guitars.
Yes, of course. It's a beautiful Monday. Actually, today is my Thursday.
Yeah.
You'll have time.
While you're sitting here, guys, you could get one of these phones. Yeah, it's part of your group. It's right there. Get one. We're not starting with last one. We're not waiting last minute.
Wow, that's a lot of information, Miss Marie.
Oh my goodness. This is what Miss Tamara wants. Copies of each of them.
Want to kill all the trees on Earth.
All right. So go with
That's
the
a
flow.
waste of trees.
This is the news. We have to do what we have to do. Mask up, please.
Sorry, we lost your voice. We lost your voice.
Down.
I'm like, what a show. It's for us.
Yes. Take one, each person.
It says one, we get more than one.
You know what I mean.
I know, because it says
It says,
section one.
yeah, session one.
That's here. Oh, yeah. Thank you.
All right. So I want to say, if you have an appointment, you know what time, you can just go ahead, okay? I just want you to feel comfortable. You don't have to interrupt the group. You know you have appointment, you just disappear.
Yeah, but when's the band leave?
I don't know that part, but this is to let those who know who have appointment.
I do. I have.
All right, when your time comes, either Aswell will come and pick you up or give you a signal and you can leave without interrupting the group, okay?
Usually hospitals don't do things like that. But we'll find out.
You got a phone, everybody has one of these?
I have one.
We should all have one.
We should all have one. Yeah, there's still people outside.
Yeah, they coming. This way we can all participate. Excuse. Everybody's all right?
I'm all right. You all right?
I'm feeling so good. I am having a very happy Monday. By the way, I checked the room. Congrats. Congrats to all of you who make your bed. Nice job.
Rest of you are going to be written up.
And for those of you who still trying, it's not too late. Okay.
You gotta know how to make a bed.
How do you make a bed?
Maybe you should be in a different institution.
Anybody want waffles?
Okay, rules number one, if you have to eat, not in the group,
I
guys.
do it in group.
No
It says,
eating in group,
anybody
Bobby.
want waffles?
All right.
I have a whole 3 minutes. 3 minutes.
Eating, drinking, any of that is unacceptable, okay?
Somebody get Kyle a fucking PhD, Sure.
Stop talking like that.
What do you mean? He wants to work here.
Who? Who wants to work here?
Right there.
Bobby.
What are you, like a large, extra large?
He could. Anybody could work here. You guys could. And Bobby. Be
Anybody want
mine.
waffles?
I think Kyle wants a waffle. Because you didn't offer him that.
I'll take it.
All right. My thing is,
Don't eat it in group.
as soon as it hits 2-3, my group will be starting.
The group starts in 2 minutes. You got 2 minutes to eat.
And moving around.
Same definition.
Or do you want it? Those are not my rules.
Yeah, no, I see this other down somehow.
There's only one small tree per package. Killing.
Oh, by the way, guys, if you feel sleepy, please do not sleep. Stand up. Stand up, stretch, and then wake up. You're not allowed to be sleeping, heads down, none of that. Yes, okay?
I don't know whose table I've seen this on, but don't put your shit on my table.
We have large.
Huh?
We have large.
Yeah.
Good to Kevin.
So if you want us to not sleep, we gotta make this interesting, all right?
Well, that's why you got this now, and everyone is gonna read it.
I don't got this.
I'm not going to entertain you. This is a group, this is not a party. All right, let's start. Good morning. Everyone has a phone, everyone has one of those. You should all have one. And if you don't have one, you should have no reason not to have one.
Oh, snap.
As of right now, group is now in session. Hello, gentlemen. In case you didn't hear me, as of right now, group is in session. Any talking, any eating, drinking, that will eventually be a write-up. I'm up front with you guys. Okay? This is group. No eating, no sleeping, and only clear water you can have. Clear water only.
What other kind of water is there?
Huh?
What other kind
If
of
you're
water?
thirsty, you're allowed to drink water, but soda, juice, anything other than that, you're not allowed to. Okay, now, I need some volunteer. Let's go. Who's gonna read?
That doesn't look like clear, Bobby.
I need volunteer.
I will
Let's
read.
roll.
Definitions, terms, and self-diagnosis. Introduction.
Excuse me, respect for the others, please. This is a group. Everyone needs to be quiet.
Welcome to the definitions, terms, and self-diagnosis session of the Living in Balance program. This session focuses on addiction-related terms and definitions. It includes an exercise designed to help you determine whether you have a substance abuse-related problem or addiction. It also provides useful information about the biological aspects of addiction. What is in this session? The session has three major parts: definition and terms, self-assessment exercise, and biological aspects of addiction. After participating in part one, you'll be able to understand important terms used in addiction treatment, understand the nature of drug abuse and addiction. After participating in part two, you'll be able to conduct an addiction self-assessment, understand how the diagnostic criteria for addiction apply to you. And after participating in part three, you'll be able to understand the effects of drug on natural brain chemicals, understand the ways that substance use.
Hold on, please. Guys, this is a group. Group must be respected across the border. Any more interruption will lead to a write-up. Are we okay with that?
Yeah.
Thank you. We have to respect at each group.
After participating in part three, you will be able to understand the effects of drugs on natural brain chemicals, understand the ways that substance use affects biological processes, understand the negative physical effects of substance abuse. What we'll be asking you, you'll need to look inside yourself and honestly address the ways that substances and abuse have affected your life. You'll be asked to explore the ways in which these substances have had a negative impact on you and those around you. This will take courage, but the result of your efforts will be an increased understanding of how addiction has controlled some of your behaviors. This understanding can help you to take back control of your life. Review the glossary. Before you get started, you may find it useful to review important words in the glossary look at the end of the session. Addiction, cross-tolerance, drug abuse, drug switching, physical dependence, primary drug effects, psychoactive effects, reverse tolerance, secondary drug effects, tolerance, up or down cycle, withdrawal symptom.
Pause. Any question about reading this? Drug abuse, addiction. While you in this program, you are here to discuss your issue. This is a recovery group. Any concern, Mr. Paul?
No.
Everything is good? You working toward your recovery? You following the guidelines?
Yes, ma'am.
You keeping a log? You talking to your counselor in group?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, good to hear that. What about you, Mr. Sir back there, drinking the water?
Mr. Sir back there.
Justin. After reading this article, what have you understand about this article and what can we help you with?
Oh, I already got all the help I need. I already have my counselor. I already know what I'm doing. I know what my plan is. I already have it set up for when I leave here. I just gotta figure out what the school is and sign up for the grant.
Ms. Marie, I think we need to go into a little more depth before we ask.
Okay, you have to raise your hand, okay? Nobody speak out of turn. Speaking out of turn is disrespectful to the group and others. All right. Anybody else have a concern? When you are in recovery, while you read all this, it is understanding that drug addiction is really a problem around the world, and it's right here. That's why you're here. Anybody? Anybody can actually says they are working their recovery.
Yes.
All right, raise your hand. Let me be acknowledged. Back there has, hold on, we have someone back there after them, then you. Go ahead, Mr. Robert.
Yeah, I had to change the way I look at things if I expect to stay sober. I've been getting high for 30 plus years, almost every day. I wasn't able to change my thinking or my attitude overnight. It's only been through being here 4.5 months and being a little bit honest with myself that, hey, maybe I need to do some shit differently so I don't end up dead or spending the rest of my life in prison.
Okay.
And through being here and actually being a little bit honest with myself, I still fight, I still got an attitude sometimes towards authority and this and that, and blah, blah, blah. But the whole thing is I need to learn some things, and I have started to learn some things that help me every day to not get high and to deal with life sober. And I think that's why I asked for this program, because I knew I couldn't do it by myself. And it doesn't happen overnight, but little by little, there's stuff starting to click and make sense to me, and I can see my future without drugs and alcohol. I could never see it that way before. And each and every day that I get up and I do what I need to do and I stay sober, gives me hope and strength to do it again the next day. So that's just where I'm at with it. I don't have all the answers or anything like that, but my perspective, the way I've been looking at things in life in general, has started to change.
Very good. Very good. Anyone have any? The last two person who had their hands up may proceed now.
For me, I've been through therapy before, I've relapsed before, but I feel good. So I know what I need to do. I'm trying hard. I catch myself now a lot faster when I find myself slipping back or thinking to about using and stuff like that. I can catch myself a lot faster and get back to where I need to be in the now. It's a lot easier to be here and be sober. I really, it's tougher focusing on when I get home because I live on my own and I know I need to keep busy. I need to get to meetings, get a sponsor. That's where I slipped last time, I think really hard. I got out of therapy and I just I did have peer specialist, a case manager, a therapist. I did that stuff. I worked with them, but I thought I had things under control, and I did for a while, but I started to not do the things I learned in therapy, got back in, and I thought it was okay after a certain amount of months and stuff to have one drink, and that voice in your head, that monster, it's always there. And I knew better, and all it took was to have one drink turned into months again, and I just gotta remember, I can never drink again or use any drug again, and it's hard to accept that, like Robert was saying, to live a life, without it, but I know what it does to me, and it's always gonna do that, it's never gonna get better. So that's the part I struggle, it's just always thinking about how it used to feel, when it felt good. Now it just destroys my life, and I gotta remember that.
Okay.
So for me, that's where I'm at,
Okay. Anybody else have their hands up who'd like to elaborate before I continue to go on? Okay, moving on to the next drug switch. Drug switch.
Drug switch? They're not drug switch.
No, I'm going from addiction, cross tolerance, and drug switch.
Oh, yeah.
A lot of people have had that issue. Here you at House of Hope, when you are in recovery, this is the chance you have to talk with your counselor. You have to be honest with yourself.
She's on page 2, by the way.
Okay, I'm just elaborating about drug switch. For instance, some people feel that, okay, I am no longer dealing with drugs, but yet I'm still using something to substitute what I wasn't using. Okay, now here you are in the program. You have to face your own fire. You have to look at this as recovery, and recovery is not going to happen overnight. Okay, you're getting resources everywhere. You have the 2 counselors, you have the BHT, you can go into the internet and do your own research, but be honest to yourself. Anyone have any concern, any question regarding being honest? Because until you're not honest with your recovery, you are not starting anywhere. Okay, you can say what you want. You could you can fake it too, you can. But the reality is when you leave here, that's why before you leave, you have to have a game plan. This is what we're here for. We're here to assist you, and you are here to ask questions, to participate, to write your feelings down, and stop repeating the same infraction. And some people will take longer than others. Remember how long you use. If you've been using for 20 years, you're not gonna get over it the next 4 days. Okay? So you gotta be realistic with your dream and your goal of what you want out of the House of Hope. And while I talk, is there anyone who likes to elaborate about any of this? And if you do not wish to elaborate, we'll proceed with the next move.
What's the question again?
Switch of drug use. For instance, if you were outside, you were using anything. Now, before we go to the next word, I would like to know if anyone likes to elaborate about this issue.
For probation, I couldn't smoke weed when I was younger, so I felt like I was using a lot more other drugs, like a lot more often than I usually would, just because I couldn't smoke weed. So I used to kind of blame probation, like, well, they don't let me smoke weed, so this is why I'm doing all this shit.
Because some of you are ready to move forward. You've got to move as you grow. This House of Hope has given you the way to go, but does it stop here? Does it stop here? No, it does not. Mr. Michael, the hoodies have to go down when you group and the multi-purpose rooms too. Okay, yes?
I was gonna say that I've been in and out of recovery for a while now, and at first, when I first got into recovery, 10 years ago, I had a bad opiate problem already, and eventually I switched from opiates to alcohol, and I was on Suboxone, and then I became an alcoholic, and so I switched one drug of choice for the other. Then I tried then I got clean again. Then I was like, all right, I'm gonna just smoke weed. I did that for like 6 months, and then eventually I went back to drinking or getting high off opiates or crack again. And then the other times, the crazy part is that so when you're trying to stop, you think the problem is one drug, or drugs and not alcohol, or alcohol but not drugs. And so you try all these different things, not only just different drugs, but all right, instead of drinking liquor, I'm gonna just drink beer. Or instead of using every day, I'm gonna just use on weekends. I'm gonna work hard all week, and on Friday and Saturday, I'll be a weekend warrior. I mean, all those different things I've tried. And it always ends up back into everyday thing. Whatever my drug of choice may be at the time, being heroin or alcohol, it's brought to the full extent of I'm physically addicted and I can't function without it. And then the crazy part is even after you put down the drugs and alcohol in recovery, then your addictive behavior starts going to other things. Okay, now I'm going to try to have sex with all these different women that I can because now I'm getting my high off that. Or now I'm going to be Mr. Big Book Thumper at every meeting and try to become like this zealot in AA or NA and be obsessed with that. Or now I'm going to just start gambling on Friday, go to the casino, and now all of a sudden I have it. If you don't fix the actual problem, which is your addictive behavior is going to come out whether the drugs and alcohol are down or not, and manifest itself in ways that maybe you thought you've never had a problem before. I've seen people that never had a problem gambling, but then they got clean and they started going to casino on weekends, and now they're straight up gambleholics. So
Exactly. Be aware. Just because you inside here does not mean you're doing all the things. Because, for instance, you have people who overeat. Okay? That's also a craving of feeling good, because this is the way they know about when they eat, they feel comfortable or overly. There's a difference. You can't eat to be full, but you can't eat to feel uncomfortable. Now, if you are here for recovery and you know what you used in the past, how many cups of coffee should you have? I mean, you don't have the cigarette, but some people will use that cup of coffee to substitute the cigarette.
Yeah.
Or chocolate.
Energy drinks.
Yeah.
Chocolate.
I've seen a lot of people get clean and become obsessed with going to the gym.
Yeah.
And that's their whole focus on their recovery is now their body and working out, and they lose focus on their recovery because it's not really drugs and alcohol that's our problem. The problem, they're a symptom of our problem. And so if you don't really change what's going on inside of you, your addictive behaviors and your character defects are going to manifest itself in other ways. And eventually you're going to go back to what really is nostalgic and feels at home, which is drugs and alcohol.
And you're going to crash on the outside because you never dealt with it.
That boy's woke.
All right. Anybody else have anything to say, Mr. Jerry? How you feeling?
I'm all right.
Any concern about this?
A little bit sleepy this morning.
I'm sorry?
I'm a little bit sleepy this
Yeah, if you are feeling sleepy, guys, I understand it's Monday. Just stand up. Stand up. Do what you got to do, but try to stay awake, okay?
Drug snitch.
All right.
Snitch.
Okay.
Drug snitch. Hello?
Yes.
The drug snitch is the dude who's usually a drug addict who gives information to the cops about drug operations so you can get them some drugs. Drug snitch.
How is that? So they get it? Tell me. Drug switch, really? Come on now, let's be realistic. Let's give positive reinforcement here. Okay? Mr. Curry, any questions?
I don't have nothing on that. I'm not switching. Right now, I'm not switching anything to replace my drugs. That's my addiction.
Okay. And addiction doesn't always have to be drugs too,
I know. It could be watching too much TV.
Yes. Addiction is something that you, like telephone, cellular phone. Some people actually,
Facebook.
Okay, some people actually will drive and know that their life is in jeopardy and still texting. Come on. And then when you're among your friends, you are having a good time, but you're so busy trying to see who texts you and who calls you. There comes a time you've got to differentiate you having a good time versus you using the cell phone all the time. Okay? Yes,
I was
Bob.
gonna say, it's just like, even like for me, it's like candy, especially like Skittles or anything, but like even sometimes chocolate, I find myself like out of control with that, like one time I got a brownie out of it, right? And it was just so fucking good. Like it hit all my reward receptors and it just felt so good to eat it and everything. So I went and bought another one. And when I ate the second one, I literally it didn't even taste the same. It just didn't taste the same at all. It didn't feel as rewarding, yet I still ate it. And that's just part of that, just I wanted that feeling again of just how good I felt eating that first piece.
Your challenge is not really here. Your challenge here is barely. Your challenge is when you step outside. Because here, you are sheltered.
This is a place where you build your goals, small term.
Your coping
You
skills.
should have a small term goal, a mid range goal, and a long range goal. That's how I got it.
Yes. Here you are covered. You have your counselor to go to. You have the staff. You have so many resources. That's why when you are leaving here, you transition to a halfway house, but you still have to continue to get your support from your sponsor. You cannot just say, oh, that's it. Because if not, you're going to find yourself crash and find yourself back where you started. That's why in recovery, you have to be honest. You have to trigger what actually trigger you. So you talk about it with your counselor, you face the issue, and you work toward that so you can move forward. This is what this is. This is why you have group after group after group. It might feel it's too much, and if it is too much, you can pause. Say, oh, let me see where I am, because this is where you come in. This is why you have this pamphlet, you have the counselor talk to you, you have one-on-one and individual. Okay, use all of that to help you gain control of your addiction. Okay, what's that? Paul,
Yes.
Do you wish to say anything about any addiction, any concern? All right, okay. Richard, I haven't heard from you, Richard. Welcome. How you doing? Long time it's been. Any concern? How you doing? Anything you'd like to share with the group? How you coping?
No, I'm good.
You're good. You out there, all the temptations out there.
Yeah, I'm good.
Okay, all right. Because this is another thing when you step out. Yes, sir.
So I guess it's safe to say that some of us simply have addictive personalities. That true?
I can't make that comment about addictive personality.
This is an actual condition. Some people are the species of being an addictive or addictive personality individual.
Yes.
Some people could take longer to adjust versus others,
No, that's not my
but
question.
some people
I'm saying
can have it.
some people, right, have addictive personalities. They're just naturally addicted to things. That's what I'm asking.
I can make yes and no. That
You know the
person,
answer to that?
that person will have to be the one to express that, because me, I don't have anything that
Have you ever
controls
heard
me.
of having an addictive personality?
No, not in my part. That's why it has to be individual can answer that. You see, addictive personality could be someone who find that they always have to have something.
Yeah.
You know, you
It's not
understand?
your area of expertise.
No.
An addictive personality is an individual who just naturally prone to become addicted to things. Like, say, for instance, it could be a positive addiction. Here's an individual who just addicted to playing with his children. Here's another individual who's addicted to building businesses provide employment. for
Maybe the word
misfortunate.
addictive may not be the word for addictive, might be a different word.
What-
Instead of
another
addictive,
word is,
because
synonymous with
addictive would be a different word. You could have the passion of working with your hands.
But it's
You
not
know?
that you just have an addiction for this particular activity.
Because the addiction would be something that we refer to
That's something
drug,
negative.
alcohol, and then you have the pattern of wanting to go drink coffee becomes something that you can't do without. It become an addiction because you use the coffee to switch on something that you can not stop, you know? Just like people who used to smoke cigarettes and they use candy because they can't let out the cigarette. They have the chewing gum now, I think, I don't know the name of it. But they use that to wean off the cigarette, you see?
Another question, if an individual is diagnosed as having an addictive personality, would that be a disorder? Considered this disorder?
It depends. That would be a doctor's decision. It depends, because you might see it as an addiction, and when the person see a doctor, it may not be. And if you've been doing something for a long time, it become part of you, you know? But it's not, it wouldn't be addiction, be part of you. Like some people wake up every morning, they read the paper. They have to have a cup of coffee. And that's part of their daily routine versus addiction. Yes.
And I don't wanna like just, focus on like AA or NA, but like, there's a, they have a lot of, there's a reason why it works pretty well. But so step one, it says, we admitted we are powerless over our addiction, that our lives have become unmanageable. So I think it's an addictive behavior if it's something that we were powerless over our addiction, meaning that we can't not do it. That it's like, it's not just a passion, it's something that we, in our lives, the biggest part,
Take it over you.
that our lives become unmanageable. So if you're doing something, like whether it be working too much.
Yeah, workaholic.
Yeah, exactly. If it's
Yeah.
affecting other areas of your life,
Yes, it is
then
a
that's
problem.
probably an addiction.
Yeah,
And
workaholic.
that's a simple way
That's
to
an
look at
addiction
it.
to work. though.
Yeah, some people just have to work. They made that part of something that they always have to do that.
A lot
You
of
know, they
men,
cannot differentiate that part versus to relaxing, to take a day off, to do other things.
a lot of men or women that are highly successful people in business, you go see their family life, it's not as good as it could be because all their energy and their focus is put into work. So anything that becomes, an obsession and makes other areas of your life unmanageable, I would consider an addiction, no matter what it is.
You had your hand up, I don't want to cut you off.
That's
I
it.
didn't forget you, okay?
I'm done.
By hand, I'll get to you in a few. What do you find when someone is overworked? Is that an addiction to you guys?
It could be, yeah.
Yes.
Functioning addict.
Okay, raise your hand because, we all have different views. Yes.
Functioning addict. Someone likes to work, keep working no matter what condition they're in, is a functioning addict.
But if I may say, to some people, that works for them, right? Some people just like exercising.
The workaholic.
Yes.
Sometimes you get overworked, you got a lot of responsibility, you got a lot of bills.
Okay.
It depends on what you do and what you make.
But remember, in life, you have to learn to balance your life, right?
Yeah, but sometimes you don't have that choice, sometimes you have to work.
Yeah. But then you get burned out.
I know, but it's just the way.
What
it is.
happens when you get burned out?
You either gotta keep running, you run on it.
What
you
happened?
keep on it. I've been at work burned out, keep on doing the routine over and over and over again.
But listen, could working too much can also burn you out, and then it brings you right back to drinking again?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I also think there's a difference between working too hard because you're doing it to survive versus working because you like to work and keep accumulating money and things.
Difference?
There's a difference between that.
Yes. Yes. Thank you for being patient.
I know I have an addictive personality. I know since I was little, every little thing I could do that I liked, I would get stuck on it. But that didn't bring negative consequences. It was when I started using that the negative consequences came about it.
Excuse me, somebody's talking. Can we all listen, please? There are also addiction relationships. You broke up with somebody and they just obsessive. They just cannot accept that it's over.
State five clinger.
Okay? So what happened to that too? Mr. Gary?
Fatal attraction.
Yeah, it could lead to that. Refusal to accept that it's over. Yeah? Anything that has taken over your life, you cannot stop. You cannot control. It's a problem. If you oversleep all the time, you don't know if it's night and day because you sleep all day. What happened? You pass all your days. You just sleep your life away. That's an issue. That's a wake-up call. Then you got to ask yourself, Jesus, you can't differentiate night and day because you're always sleepy. You can't go out there and look for work. You can't keep your eyes up. Or you can't sleep. You can't sleep at night. So what do? You got to find out what the problem is. Overthinking can keep you awake all day. What is and what might be, what should, all that could be an issue. Mr. Stephen, how you doing?
Good, how are you?
Anything you have to say? Any concern about addiction? Remember, addiction, everyone has their own pace. Some people could quit right there. Some people already know, wow, I had too much cigarette, that's enough. I gotta cut down. Before the doctor make you cut down. Your heart palpitation, right? Drinking coffee will make your heart, make you fidgety, and then your heart keep pumping, right? There are some things that you have no choice but to make it work.
This is becoming interesting because now we have to learn to differentiate between good addictions and bad addictions.
Yeah.
Because we clearly see that addictions simply be part of who you are.
Exactly.
Like, for instance, you got a kid, he's addicted to that basketball. He's bouncing all around the house. He can't stop playing with his ball all the time, day and night. And eventually he evolves into a great NBA basketball player on television. You root for this guy, but all the time he's driving his mom's crazy this fucking basketball player.
He has a passion for basketball.
So
And what about the Nintendo game?
So is passion for something synonymous with being addicted to it?
It could be. It could lead to that.
Negative consequences differentiate.
Because what about the kids who stay up and trying to play the game?
It's not
Especially
that
boxing.
that's actually a physical addiction now.
I'm sorry?
You can be physically addicted to that now, like drugs. They did a study on it.
Mm-hmm.
They're really addicted to video games.
Yes.
Like we're addicted to heroin and crack and other drugs. Motherfuckers need their fix now for video games.
Okay, so now we're talking
Stimulate the
about
brain. They can
physical
take what's
addiction.
withdrawal from.
Hold on.
Sorry.
He's talking.
That's all right. You keep going.
Yeah, we have the conversation.
Yeah.
Keep trying.
Mm-hmm.
I hear both.
All right.
And I'm thinking, okay, so now we see a physical addiction like the drug alcohol, and maybe the psychological or mental addiction. So activity
Mm-hmm.
was not like a physical yearning for it, but a psychological.
Right.
Think?
Yeah.
Something.
You have to differentiate. I wake up in the morning. All of us have something that we do. And it's our daily activities. Some people wake up in the morning, they got to have a cup of coffee.
Question.
Right?
You.
Me.
Look at your behavior. What do you think that you love to do so much that it borders on addiction? Tell us, share with us. What is your
I
greatest?
don't have anything
There's nothing
that
ever
takes
really
over
wrong.
me. No, I don't allow anything to take control over me.
No. Be for real with us.
I am
What is it
being,
that you do that you just love to do? You must have this every day. Talk to us.
I'm a people person. I could talk and learn every day.
We got that. Oh yeah.
Yeah. I like to talk and I like to know how you doing, how this one doing, you know? I'm a people person. I love to sell property and I meet different people. I hear different stories.
He's
And
asking
people.
if you have any negative addiction.
No, that's not what I was asking. I just wanted to know addiction. We determine if it's negative. We know that drug addiction is negative. So maybe this activity is not negative. You like to talk to people.
Yeah, that's
What is
good.
it you like about it? You like to
I
see
learn
response?
about different people experiences, just like traveling. I love to travel because then that makes me appreciate how lucky I am for what I have and what I don't have.
Very good.
you know? Because it's not the big stuff for me that matters. It's the little stuff. And it's the little stuff we least think about.
Do you like to hear your voice? You like to hear yourself? You hear people say that. You like to hear yourself talk. Do you like to hear your voice?
Well, I'll tell you one thing. I'd rather hear your voice than mine because this is the group for all of us. So I'm going to
So beyond the
change
group,
gear.
it's only part of your
I'm
group.
going to change gear and move forward. We'll talk another time. All right. All right. Anyone else ready to read the next? We spoke about drug switching,
I'm addicted to-
physical dependence.
I'm addicted,
Yeah.
I'm addicted to breathing.
Breathing?
Breathing.
Yeah, this is
breathing
breathing. Who
air.
says that? Okay,
That's not-
here's another dude who has an addiction.
Are you serious?
It's a good addiction.
That's his addiction. No hit shit all day.
Mhm. Mister, how are you? Will you mind standing up a little bit so you could wake up? Yeah, that will help you to stay up. How you feeling this morning? Do you know what we're talking about?
I'm not sweet.
You're not asleep. All right. Okay.
He's just resting his eyes.
Yeah, okay. Michael, any concern? Some of you are ready to move forward, phase up, learning about different stuff. Mr. Knight, is there anything you'd like to share with us? No, about the group, nothing at all, no concern. All right. Jesse, how about you? Nobody have anything? Mr. Chris, how you doing? This group is for you all to express your feelings, express your addiction, express what works for you, and how can you help yourself reach your goal.
Well, what I've learned about addiction is that when it becomes more important to you to stay sober, that's when you'll make that step.
Mhm.
But I find myself going into a selfish mode where I want to feel the way I want to feel. And I don't take into account that one small slip up could end up with me sitting in a chair right here. So I look forward to going back and trying to apply what I know and try to stay sober. I just put together over a year. I just couldn't hold on to it.
Is there anything that kept you from relapse?
Well, thinking about coming to places like this.
Okay, well, we welcome you. We're glad you came here.
I mean, these are good places, but when you're doing well, you typically don't come.
That's the thing. What happened when we're doing well? What is it that we can't maintain it? Is it life itself? We wake up every day, we make our beds, we have our breakfast, but we graduate successfully out of house of hope, but then we go to our own world. This is your reality outside here. You can't get rid of the liquor store. It's always going to be there. That's why you got to be realistic and be honest about your drug choices. This is a holiday. You know how many people are going to come back here? Not because they didn't follow the guidelines. They relapse. Because some people, a holiday is a trigger to them. The party. If you're in a diet, the food, you have to have that self-control. You know? Bradley, how you doing? What can you tell me about that relapse?
My relapse?
Yes. Your physical dependence.
Just keep using the opiates and you'll have physical dependence or alcohol. If you keep using alcohol in high amounts, you get dependency.
Mm-hmm.
I used to change up, you're talking about switching drugs for other drugs. So I used to like do
Be quiet.
fentanyl one day, and then the next day I do Imodium, dextromethorphan, and then the next day I do heroin again, and then the next day I do LSD, just to switch up so I didn't become too physically dependent on it.
I have to say you're also lucky to be here today.
Yes, I agree with you that. I agree.
Every day you are here, this is your lucky day. If you have used so many different substances and you are here today, that means you've been through enough and a lot, and you can make a change if you want. But no matter how many groups you have, no matter how many places you've been, the final decision is based on you and you only. It's just like going to school. You could switch from school to school. The curriculum is going to be similar. You are not going to graduate as the whole class. Very seldom you find that happen. But those who do graduate, apparently being honest, and they talking to their counselor, they meeting their goals, they writing every day, they writing something. You got to make short goals for your life. You can't just sit here and say every day I'm gonna eat, sleep, listen to hip hop, and then at the end of the couple months you've been here, what did you do for you? Yes.
Question, is it something we could expound on collectively? Maybe develop or hold some interest into this, right? The holidays, right? In the holidays. How do we as drug addicts view the holiday season, being on drugs nowadays? Is it a better time to be on drugs since the money is flowing more freely everywhere? Or is it a negative time because you feel some kind of way that everybody's in a festive mood with their family? You seem to be missing out. So I imagine there's two ways to think about that. What would you think would be a good attitude for the drug addict out there in society? Holiday season.
Well, my opinion actually is you know your trigger. If you know going to a party, it's going to take you down, what do you have to do?
I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about the dude who's already on dope.
Care.
Drug life out there in the midst of the holiday season.
You got to stay away. And it's not easy. You have to pick your choice of fun. You have to choose. Remember, when you came from, remember your drug preferences, what you done in the past, you do not go back to your past. You do not go to old place, old friends, or anything. So you have to change your mindset, your mentality. Just like today you wore this color shoes, or sneaker, or clothes. You could have wore the same pants every day. You got to make that choice of party. If party's gonna be a trigger, would you go there?
No, I wouldn't be spurring the trigger. I'm talking about the mentality. I'm usually never ever out on Christmas.
Okay.
So I'm thinking about how they approach
Where are you usually on?
Well, that goes without saying. The point is, I'm never there. It's always what it is. It's an intriguing thought, I thought, perhaps not for you because you've been in life. I'm always watching it from TV somewhere. People dancing Christmas, and you feeling like a sense of loss.
That's why.
But then I'm thinking about the dude out there in the midst because the hustle is what it's all about. And now money got to be really flowing.
Yeah, it is.
In the Christmas season, you know what I mean? So are they like more excited about that, or are they feeling more sense of loss and grief?
It could work both ways depending on the individual.
Yeah, but I thought the question you would pose toward us, we were going to answer individually, not you, man. You can't answer.
Oh, no, I couldn't answer. But that would be the answer to your peers. Did you hear his question? Yeah, he has his hand up.
All right, Gary, for the most part, like in my addiction, when it comes to like holidays, Christmas and everything, like that is the time where the suicide rate is higher, the overdose rate is way higher, because a lot of people have burned all those bridges and they can't go back home, or they know they ain't gonna see their kids, or they're actively using when Christmas time's coming up and they know that they ain't gonna be able to get their kids no presents, so they do way more. And a lot of people commit suicide.
Yes, suicide.
A lot of people overdose and don't make it to the end.
And depression too.
I think it's a large sense of grief involved.
Yeah.
Hustle mentality, oh man, money flowing will come up, Then I look around, everybody get their Christmas thing on. Not really a part of it. So that's what I was thinking. Got to
But-
fuck that guy up.
Especially like down in, well, pretty much anywhere, man, like people just, that's just what they do. They get
Bradley. Stand up, Bradley.
Let the dude talk,
No,
don't do that.
excuse me, he can't sleep.
You're making a very important point here. You too much
Just so we can- I have to do my job, please, do not interrupt me. Go ahead, sir.
That's what the very important thing he's saying. I'm trying to get this.
That's just how it goes, man, like, right now, for everybody in this room, we all still need to be, very aware of what's going on inside and inside here, inside our bodies and everything. Most everybody in here has kids, and we're all gonna be in this, behind this fence on Christmas Day.
But we clean if they pop up, we looking good as opposed to being on dope.
Right.
Ducking the guy, you know what
Right,
it seems like.
but I mean, for addicts, like the little excuses are the ones that make you get addicts. There we go, boo, over the fence. Like, it's dumb stuff like that, so, just keep that.
Anybody else have any concern about being here? And it's Christmas, and how you,
Plus or minus.
hey,
Consider the
Michael,
alternative.
please stand up. No sleeping, guys, this is the rules, you cannot
Let us
sleep or have your
interact
head
when we
down.
go to sleep. Let us keep
Listen,
it
please, let
moving.
me do my job, please.
Okay.
Thank you. Thank you. Yes, all right. By the way, yes,
I think it's a plus being here. I don't have no kids, but even when I was out there on the streets, when I was getting high, holidays weren't my main concern. I didn't miss many holidays out there where I ain't see loved ones and I was out there too soon. So I'm definitely not gonna let that I'm in here put me down about not seeing them. At least I'm in a better state of mind
Yes,
right now.
exactly.
So when I do get out of here, it'll be greater later.
yes, it could be, very
As opposed to
good.
being on
Exactly.
dope or being locked up with a case.
Like I said, I was out there, holidays came and I ain't seen them. You know what I'm saying? So
That's like motherfucker, man.
That's exactly good, yeah. Anyone have would like to make any point about that being here? And by the way, for anyone who has not been here, it's not bad in a point that they do things with you guys. They do have a little,
Could be
activities.
worried. Wow.
It's not like, as a matter of fact, we should be doing decorations, because I remember last year we did decoration. They have a little something for you. So you gotta look at it in a positive way too. You here, you recovering, you get your life together, because how long did it take you to reach to this stage? You could have been 6 feet under for all I know, but you got another chance to better yourself. You know, exactly. You could have been behind bars, but here you have more freedom. You have a chance to call your family and say, I love you, I miss you. Okay, I'm working on myself, because until you don't work on yourself, you're not ready for society. Okay, so don't allow the holiday get to your work, your effort.
Yeah, I just noticed that white thing. What is that? Is it screen or something?
Okay, moving forward.
For the projector,
If you are sleeping in group, you need to stand up and not falling asleep. Okay, those are the rules, guys. I'm sorry. This is what it is.
And then he couldn't New Year's, man. Go.
Okay, primary drug effect. What does the drug effect does to you? Some people have drug effect. You're blurry. It affect your mental health. It affect you physically. This is just a little thing where it said, I'm bringing it down. Talk about physical experience over there. Primary drug effect. Okay, a lot of you have had use multiple substances. Okay, some people are forgetful. Some people woke up and they find themselves in a hospital, right? They don't know what happened.
It happened to me.
Yes. Would like to elaborate?
I passed out, I had them been drinking a lot
Mm-hmm.
and stayed up for a few days.
Mm-hmm.
And I woke up. When I woke up, I was in Plantation Hospital. I was like, how the hell, like, how did I get here?
Yeah, and maybe,
And people said, ambulance, somebody fell out of the gas station.
isn't, you're lucky someone caught you enough to help you to the hospital. But not everybody gets to be this lucky. Okay? Some people do not get to be lucky enough to make it. So when you drink or you driving or you mixing your alcohol with medication, and some people have different reactions. Some people may not have the same reaction. Some people had seizures. Some people have speech slur. Okay? So listen, every action has a reaction. True? Huh? So have anyone ever had to find themselves behind bars because they were driving and drinking? DUI, yes. Multiple times?
Yeah.
And this is right now gonna happen. A lot of people are doing it. It is not because they're in recovery or not. Some people are not even thinking logically. This is the holiday, they feeling happy, they drinking a little bit and a little bit become a lot more and they go behind the wheel. Right? Yes.
I know God good, cause it has been times in life when I'm on that road going to the tube and that's a one-way stretch. One way in, one way out. And I've been up days at a time on drugs, on alcohol, trying to drive down there in the middle of the night and doze off and wake up behind the wheel on my way to the road, finna run into a ditch. I got to get that right. So, I know I'm here for a reason.
Yes, indeed.
But I've had numerous occasions like that. There's been times where I've been driving on that road and the car in front of me, I could tell he tired, he had been up, he swerving. One time I was on the way down to the key and he had been swerving for about 5 minutes. There was an 18-wheeler coming and I backed back, like I felt it coming, I seen it coming. And he swerved right in front of that 18-wheeler. And I guess he came to right before they had a head on. He tried to swerve and the 18-wheeler hit him from the back. Son him in the main road. I don't know if they were dead or alive, but I kept on going.
Thank God.
You know, one of my business brothers. You know what I'm saying? Lord bless him.
This is the time of the year. We have a lot of sadness, we have a lot of happiness, and we have a lot of people who are thankful. We can't win everybody, but we'll try. Because at the end of the day, people are going to do what people want to do. And that's where your coping skills come into your making the positive decision. Because here, you have to deal with learning, being responsible. You are adult. If you overcome all this hard times, that means you can't come the other hard times. Because everything you work hard for has a good deed. In order for you to make it happen, you have to sacrifice a little bit. Have anyone have to sacrifice to earn something? Rather, it's a football game you had to play when you were in high school or middle school or college. It's hard practicing. All these NBA who get up, they get injured, but they have to practice so they can win the game. So in life, things come with a lot of hard work, but at the end, it pays off. Consider you in here, you are working hard to get back to recovery. You need, eventually, some of you will graduate successfully, but once you out there, this is your challenge.
I mean, some of us.
I can't say everybody. It could be everybody, I would love it. It's like when you're in high school, everybody, I can't tell everybody. We got perfect people here who actually here for their recovery who's abiding by the rules. And you have some too who's faking it or who rapping it, who doing whatever. I can't point nobody. And you got people who's willing to change and who are people who started in the wrong side and kind of turning around and heading the right way. You know? But the idea is it would be nice for everybody to graduate. That's our goal in House of Hope. But people come and go. But if that's what you want bad enough, you will make it happen.
When we gonna keep it to this here?
You awake? Hello?
When we gonna keep it to this? That's what I'm talking about.
Okay, you want to read the next one?
Which one?
Okay, let's move forward. We have to go through, yes. What is your drug abuse?
Drug abuse is the use of mood altering drugs that interferes with or has a negative effect on a person's life. This can include negative effects on a person's physical, psychological, social, legal, emotional, occupational, and educational well-being. Notice that definition uses the phrase mood altering drugs. These drugs include chemical substances and medicines that change a person's mood or feelings. There are three major types of mood altering drugs: stimulants, depressants, and hallucinogens. Drug abuse describes the relationship between a drug and a drug user that creates dysfunction and negative consequences. This is why drug abuse is defined as the use of mood altering drugs that interferes with or has a negative effect on a person's life. Please answer the following question: how has the use of alcohol or other drugs messed up your life?
Okay, you want you to start.
Okay, how has drugs? Okay, I'm gonna use drugs because I was an alcoholic. I'm gonna say how drugs messed up my life. Drugs messed up my life. Well, first start off my major in college. I majored in education, and it messed up my life because I took drugs because drugs was fast money for me back then. So I used drugs, trafficking drugs from one state to the other over my education, over my education. It cost me 18 years of my life. It did. About 18 years of my life in prison. And it really messed me up.
But you learned something from that.
Yeah, I learned something.
Mm-hmm. Well, and also, guys, when he read it says it educates you. That means you not only learning what it does to you, but you also experiencing it. So each time you have a group, it educates you. That's different groups, different drugs, the side effects, different people. Okay, and then everyone brings different issues to the table. That was his experience. Where other people, alcohol is not their problem because we are mixed. Some people it's just drugs, not alcohol. You know.
Alcohol and drugs, none of them was my problem. I was my problem.
Mm-hmm.
Alcohol and drugs are just a symptom of my problems.
Because the difference are alcohol, it's legal, right? Alcohol, you could go to the store and buy yourself a cup, and get a cup.
I hate that.
Okay. As I was saying, alcohol, you could walk down the street and get yourself a can of beer, right? It's okay, right? But it gets worse. It gets worse when you over drink, right? Then that's when the problems start. You see? You can stay in your house and this is the Super Bowl is coming. How many people are gonna be at the bar or at home with a few friends with some chicken wings and hot wings, and have a good time? But it's not how you have the good time, it's where. You can have a good time, but you have to know when your limits come, right? You can't go there and drink yourself a beer and then you say, hey, that's it. Yes, Otto.
You can have a good time, and sometimes in a meetings, in certain fellowship, like a sponsor or someone, you know what I'm saying, with a lot of clean time, they have a barbecue at their house, and they have soda, food, much food as you want, and then you can still have your cigarettes, your coffee.
No, I mean, you can do that, but the idea is how much, yes. And then we're gonna end it. Huh? Welcome. You're so rude, but I'm not gonna feed them to you, okay? That's very rude. What color are you again? All right, okay, you're not blue. You're probably gonna be red very soon. Have a good one.
Oh, damn.
This is what I'm talking about. You can't win all of you.
Shut your mouth, shoot somebody.
We'll continue with this, guys. The next group is at 10:30. We'll proceed, okay? So hold on to your paper. Good job, man. Mr. Curtis. All right, I don't take At my age, they are I'm not here to teach them. They are adults. They can be adults. If you want to change, we will change. I'm not saying change. So I do my part, and whatever they don't do, don't do. They always get back against somewhere.
So why couldn't you go to that?
Because when I called the other place, they said they tomorrow.
Oh, you called him back there? Why didn't you just tell him you had a ticket? And you even had an
He
appointment?
knows we had a ticket. No, it's right that way. It has to be in the system. If you had someone set up with double dump and move us, you know, that shit.
Keep it going, keep it boy, you on the road.
Okay.
Resume at 10:30.
Yeah.
Keep it going, boy, you on the road.
Yeah, right? Y'all did good today.
Thank you, Mr. Brady.
Of course, I can't knock everybody down.
Yeah.
That process.
You're the best.
You're the best.
Oh, I already knew that.
Don't go on work and put my-
Yeah, right. Ain't good, I ain't got no shot. I might as well go and get close.
I need a cup.
Oh, that's luck. Look at that.
Marcella, good job, man. You're working yourself up. That's how we do it.
Yeah.
Gary's coming to the.
You gotta go to
You digging up? Oh, you got it. Really? You can do that.
leave me. I'm leaving.
Elijah and.
Where am I going?
That's the teacher. You guys want me yet?
No. They want to let them do whatever the hell they want. All right. And they, that's what it is. They don't want everybody. They like it. Some people get away with murder. Some people can break the rules and still. I'm good at you. You're Marcel, right?
Yeah.
Oh, you gotta go outdoor. George. George, log in. Come. Wait.
Yeah, you gotta,
You're not going, man?
you gotta.
So I'm going to wait for, George. Oh, you going now? They all here now. You gotta press?
I gotta go.
Hey, Christopher, come on.
Oh, you going? Bradley? Yes, there you go. Thank you, Congress. They are just here, yes, they just cutting corners, you know?
They just cut, what do you
They
say,
just
just cut
live,
short?
they just live in here. Don't they? You're not the one who wants to learn. Some of them just want it easy.
Oh, sure. Ready, set up.
We start at 10:30 and the lady watching it over.
Say what?
Stick in the eye.
Really, only 6 minutes, but yeah.
We're just shooting at balls. But we're not using any planning or geometry. Yes, he did.
What? We're just fucking around. Oh. We're playing to use geometry. I was that.
John, I want a whole explanation when you're ready of why you want that job when the time comes.
What?
The question that Damien came and asked me?
Why I want what job?
Oh, so maybe Damien was joking.
Oh. Oh, you, correct.
Yeah, after I phase up.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I wanna know why.
Why I think you would be?
No, why you would be.
Oh, I'm not. I don't want to be. I told him I didn't want to be.
No,
Oh,
look,
so
it only-
that's why he came up to me and said that he wants me.
I knew they only checked Florida.
Yeah,
When the time comes.
yeah. Okay.
You don't want that, or you do?
Wait, for you or for me?
For you, bro, when I phase up.
Do I want to be vice president?
Yeah. Why did he say that to you? Why did he say that to me then?
I don't
Maybe,
know.
you know what, now I'm thinking about it.
No,
Because
I'm-
now we gotta, yeah, this is what's gonna make you grow as a person. To be
Okay.
put in a position of leadership.
I can't even take myself seriously half the time. How can, you know?
That's why it's gonna be a good growth period. Damien was trying to sell you out then.
What?
He's like, John wants to be vice president.
Oh, yeah. You might have said he doesn't want to.
No, he said he does.
He does, okay, but yeah, he definitely wasn't. That's funny. I like this.
I want to show you something if I did it right.
Tuss.
I think I'm too socially awkward.
I agree, that's why we gotta work on that.
Yeah.
We got a lot of work to do over the next couple of weeks.
Yeah.
It is, just to get out the wall,
Yeah.
just to get off the floor and work in the kitchen. It's too fast.
For 8 months, I worked in the salad, which is where you don't really serve fresh dogs, taken because and I love that job. I had my own little pub, and my son was getting pictures of their uniforms, their flies, you know, and I had lunches together.
Yeah, before they
I
went.
sent that.
That's the bus that takes them to Rhode Island.
Come on, you know how you know where?
Belgium.
So they would give them all their stuff.
Yeah.
They have to change.
Yeah, they have to know they have
One
to
year
go
ago,
to the
and then when they go, they have to change when they got there.
Actually happened 1 year ago.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
That's a job. And throw ice down. and
Yeah.
pile of
They
salt.
were looking for you.
For what?
I don't know.
No, I had like 20 people come to the water, all taking a shit.
Okay, this clock says 9:10:30.
VA is a bull shark.
Let me call them so.
First time I played, he got me good.
All right, we got
Tell
to
them the only person I have.
10:30, guys. You guys start on time. Let's go.
I don't have any information to get this.
10:30, let's go.
The only person I have to talk, the only person looking after my finances. Very.
All right, let's go at 10:30. Let's go. We're gonna read.
My mom, my dad, my brother. Love me to very kind words.
Come on, Justin. All right, where did we left off? Where were we exactly?
I lost track.
You was, where was you?
I think we were on the second or third page, right?
Second. Alcohol, yeah, he said how has the use of
Yeah, that's what I
alcohol.
thought we
Yeah,
were,
that's
okay.
clear. Okay. All right, let's rock and roll. Let you guys know, 10:30, you doing attendance? All right, we gotta start 10:30, guys, let's rock. All right,
What is it, Dixon?
where would you like? Friday, I don't make that choice, I follow what they ask me to do, okay? If it was up to me.
I read what is the Dixon?
Huh?
What is the Dixon? What's the stuff?
Yeah. Alcohol, other drugs.
I did it.
Yeah, but everybody didn't answer you. We were just ready to leave. Mr. Robert and Merla, what's it? Marcel?
They're leaving, that's why.
Oh, okay. We're leaving as what? Going to Tucker?
I don't know, that's what I thought.
Okay. All right. Okay, can we get back on track, please? It's 10:30. The last Mr.
What, the last question?
The last question.
I have to use alcohol or other drugs mess up your family life. And it messed up my family life because
That's it. He's talking. We're back in group.
it messed up my family life because I took drugs over my family. And I did drugs when I was supposed to be home, take care of business, but I was doing drugs. So I messed up my family life to a great deal.
Okay. Anybody else? How drug mess up your life?
That's family life.
Family life.
Family life. Yes.
I messed up my family life whenever I was using. I had some cleaning periods in my life from when I started since age 21 till now. But it messed me up when I use. I don't be a part of my family like I normally would. So like when we have family functions, or in church and stuff like that together, I'm never there. So it made my family have a negative attitude. Cause them have negative attitude. They still love me, but they showed me tough love.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
But that should change. Have anybody in this room started MRT?
All of them.
All of you? Yes?
No.
And you probably would like to elaborate on that, how he just said they give him tough love, right? Well, based on what I have understand, it will take them time to trust you all over again. So don't allow that.
That's not gonna happen overnight.
Exactly. So look, as of right now, continue to maintain positivity. And, trust is something that takes a long time to get. Okay, even in a relationship or whatever it is. Okay, sometimes you give somebody everything you have and then they turn around and put your business out or something happen. You know what I mean? So continue to focus on yourself and your dream and don't do it for them, do it for you.
Yeah.
Focus on you.
I'm definitely doing this for me.
Yes, and you will see the reward later. Okay. And besides Mr. Curry, anyone else have anything they'd like to mention regarding that? Yes, sir. Yes, you may. Yeah. All right. Okay. Our group has gotten a little bit smaller. Some of them has an appointment. Yes.
Lost jobs.
Job. Yes.
Homeless in the past.
Yes, the job.
Also, I became homeless because of it in the
Yes.
past.
Yes.
Lost, I couldn't, fell behind on all my bills, couldn't pay rent,
Mhm.
stuff like that. So, a lot of stuff. It had affected my health at times.
Your health. You abandoned your health.
Yeah.
See? You don't even, the drug has come to a point, it has taken over that your health, your personal health, you don't even care. It's the drug has become like your best friend, your idol. The drug will make you do things sometimes with, now that you are sober, you kind of now analyze, oh my God, these are the things you probably would talk to your counselor about. You have become a whole different person than the person you were once. Your behavior has changed. Some people just coming from, while they're on the drug, they may not have been a mean person, but the drug reacts differently toward them. Some people end up in jail for stealing because they have to feed the purpose of the drug. Okay? But my thing is, guys, I would like for you to struggle the same way you struggle when you wanted to get high, to turn around your life like that. Because everything you work hard for will come to a positive reward later. Okay? As long as you have to believe, you have to hope and believe. Hope and hold on to that dream. Okay. How, Mr. Knight, any question? Anybody back there would like to elaborate how the drug has taken over, changed your life, your friends, your family? Yes.
Hurt my family a little bit, you know what I'm saying? Because I'm like me, I was the only one getting benefits. And then, I get half of it and I just, they be gone, but I can't use that as an excuse no more. Because I go out and I stay out all day and I get high. And then when I ain't got any more money, my mom, she say, you spend all that money, and I say, yeah. My answer is yeah every time, and and then I ask for some more, and I end up getting mad and upset and then causing damage to the house, and you know what I'm saying, to the neck, yes.
This is why we are here to help you calm all of your problems. Those who want to change will change, honestly. And this is the purpose of this group, to help you so you can help yourself. Okay? Because whenever you're on drugs, honestly, you couldn't care less what's going on. Huh? You don't care. How many people here have probably been arrested so many times? It become like an open door for you. It's a normality. I go to Walmart, I steal. Some people on drugs and they so hungry, they walk in the street hungry, lost, their eyes are bulgy, but they're not even aware of how their behavior are. It's not something that's funny. It's something when you look at yourself today, you got to be thankful. And while you are fighting for yourself right now, someone else is trying to stay alive. Someone right now in the ER and they pumping their stomach, trying to revive them from the drug. Someone didn't make it last night because they either drank too much or something else happened. So you are here, you have to be thankful every day you're not 6 feet under. And so this is it. You got to start thinking, what can I do to change me to a better person, my behavior? And remember, time after time. Time take a long time to heal, but you will get there if you want it bad enough. Okay, the second questions are, who's gonna read it?
What do you mean?
We're on, he read the first one.
I read the second one too.
You read the second one?
We're on what is addiction?
Okay, who wants to read the next one?
Addiction can be described as a primary chronic and disabling condition with genetic, psychosocial, and environmental factors influencing its development and outcome. It involves compulsion, loss of control, and continued use despite negative consequences. The following paragraphs will describe what this means. Addiction is a primary condition. What does primary condition? Bobby, shut up. In other words, people are not addicted to alcohol or drugs simply because the drug makes them less depressed or anxious. That may be why some people start using alcohol or other drugs, but once the addiction begins, it becomes a primary disorder that must be treated. Some people have an addiction to alcohol or other drugs in addition to anxiety, depression, or some other psychological disorder. But because addiction is a primary disorder, treating a psychological disorder does not mean that the addiction is treated. For example, people who use alcohol or other drugs because of arguments with their spouses, they are still addicted even if the problems with their spouses disappear. Do you know people who had a psychological problem that existed before they became addicted to alcohol or other drugs? Yes or no? If yes, please explain.
Okay.
Answer the question.
Yes.
Explain.
There's a lot of people that I know that, including myself, that I think had like depression and anxiety before it really started using drugs. And I know other people that were bipolar or had schizophrenia or depression and anxiety also, who started to use drugs or alcohol. I think alcohol and drugs is a way to self-medicate when people have psychological issues that are not being addressed in other ways.
Okay, we all have that. What happens when you having an issue, you don't address it? Instead of talking about my problem or your problem, you go and get a drink, right? You went to work this morning, something happened in your relationship. Some people just go ahead and get a joint, smoke, or drink. That's adding more to your problem, right? But you don't communicate. And then it's like it keeps building. And then you go to work or you go to your loved one or you at work, wherever you are. And the minute someone says, sir, please close the door. What happened? You lash out. What are you talking about? Give an example. Pay attention, sir. You lash out because you had something in your chest and you let it grow and grow and grow until it takes you down. If something is going on in your life, you need to talk about it. You're going through an issue. It's not going well. Talk about it. That's why your counselors are there for. Meet with them. Some people have criminal issues. Not only they have substance abuse issue, they have additional. Okay? You have to let go of the steam so you can regroup and focus on your issue, your sobriety. Okay? Everybody understand that? Because the same thing that's happening here will cross you on the outside too. So this is why it's important. Not only you dealing with your sobriety, but you got other things on the outside, right? When you start going out, you have to think about it. Your substance abuse you have to maintain. Now you're gonna have your job, you're gonna have your bills, your food. And if you are in a relationship, what happens? Things might not be the right way. So you don't want to go back to anything that you worked so hard. You've been in a program for 18 months, for 20 months, and then you find yourself because of one issue and you start all over again because you decided to drink. Okay? Everyone understands? Mr. Kevin, welcome. You understand what I mean, Mr. Kevin?
Yeah.
You'd like to elaborate on anything I said regarding issues, psychological?
Not before I started drinking. I started drinking when I was 8.
Mm-hmm.
My problem was my father got sick and I couldn't be with him. So I felt neglected. It's not a psychological issue, that's an emotional issue.
Emotion.
That's when I started drinking. Then he died 4 years later, and that's when I became depressed. Felt the world was against me.
All this is part of everything everyday life, right? But
Yeah.
if you had, did you have any support?
No,
That's another thing.
my dad died. He was my only
He
support.
was your only support.
I didn't give a fuck about the rest of the family.
Okay,
My dad was my person.
right.
Been dealing with that issue since I was 8 years old. Dealing with family. And then it carries on to women later on in life.
Mm-hmm.
My mother was never there for me. She was there, but not emotionally.
Right. So you see, we all have different issues that led us to things we don't want to repeat. Okay? So that's why it's important to talk. And I'm going to elaborate as much as possible about it because it's a daily living lifestyle. You have to balance it. I'm not just reading this. I'm breaking it down to you. Because outside, you will have things to tackle. Here, it's you wake up, your food's ready, your meds is ready, okay? Everything is ready. And some people come from jail and right to here. Just like we have people who also are walking. If you could have taken care of yourself, honestly, would you be here? You gotta be honest with yourself. Because if you could have taken care of your sobriety, you would have been out there doing so. So you are here to get help. And that's why when we read this Living in Balance, it's to help you to balance your life while you're here. Okay? So be honest with yourself about your life and getting it together. Who wants to read next? Before we move on, is there anyone who has any concerning question regarding to what we just discussed? Everything is good, all right.
Addiction is progressive. This means that addiction gets worse, not better over time. Without treatment, addiction typically does not go away, nor does it stay at the same level of intensity. Rather, for most people, addiction becomes more severe over time, causing increasingly worse physical, emotional, and social problems. Addiction causes medical and physical problems. Untreated addiction can kill you. For example, you can die from overdose. Alcohol and other drug addiction can cause serious medical problems in your brain, liver, heart, and many other organs. Alcohol and other drug use
has a strong role in suicides, homicides, motor vehicle crashes, and other traumatic events. Addiction involves poor control over use. Poor control means that people are unable to control the amount of alcohol or other drugs that they drink or use. It also means they cannot control their behavior while under the influence of alcohol or other drugs. There are 3 types of impaired control. Poor control over amount. People who are addicted often have very little, if any, control of the amount of drugs consumed during a drug episode. For example, an individual may intend to smoke $50 worth of crack, but smokes $100 worth instead. Poor control over stopping. People who are addicted often have little, if any, control over their ability to cut down or stop their alcoholic or other drug use. For example, individuals may try to drink less when they drink or try to stop drinking altogether, often several times, but cannot do so. Poor control over behavior. People who are addicted often lose control over their behavior when under the influence of alcohol or other drugs. And as an example, some people become aggressive or violent when they use alcohol or other drugs.
Exactly. We went over that earlier, right? Aggressive, fighting in public. Then what? What happened when you start fighting? You went to a restaurant with your girlfriend and you drank a little bit, boom. Yes.
That's why I'm here, that's why I got the charge.
But you did not mean to have any problem when you went out, right? Mhm. Yes, sir.
Yes, I can identify to that right there. When I first started using cocaine, I used to only spend $20, and I used that as a excuse that I ain't gotta have it. I only spend $20 here and there on it. But then it progressed after about like a month or so. And then I was just totally out of control. No matter what I did, every week I worked all the way from Monday to Friday and spent all my money. I'd be broke by Sunday.
Exactly.
Every week. And no matter what I did, I try to put, okay, I'm gonna spend $100 and put the rest of the money up. I'm gonna go back to that money. I give my mom the money. Here, hold this money and don't give it to me. But then once it's gone, I will badger her so much that she just say, "Here, get the money. Don't never do that to me no more." You know what I'm saying? And I messed her up.
Yeah.
By those actions.
Exactly.
So I completely identify with that. I was out of control, and I could not control it no matter what I did. No matter, I even went to NA meetings. Like sometimes I went to NA meeting, and it would get me for that day, but then the next day it'd be the same thing, right over.
And this is not only you it happened. You have working people who still going through it, but in denial. When you're in denial, you refuse to understand, I have a problem.
Yeah.
Just like you have people who go out shopping, they have everything in the house, but they can't, they just have to go shopping. Okay, they have to have extra. Okay, and it happened. And when it happened, what happened to you then? You lost all your self-control. That means you don't know how to maintain your money management. You have a rent to pay, right? You have food, and then you're spending everything that you're supposed to do. Next thing you know, you're evicted. People are getting tired of your BS because you always broke. Or you asking to borrow, and you know why you're borrowing money? To keep your habits. Or you use your best friends. Eventually it comes out, you know what I mean? It comes out. But the idea is to acknowledge your problem and make it change and go for help. So, guys, again, poor control behavior. People act out for no reason. No. The drugs sometimes lead you to that. You know, how sometimes you are out and you are told to do something and you find out who are they to tell me what to do, right? If they said no smoking and you come in and you smoke, you break it's simple redirection. But that means it's a big deal for you guys, right? For some of you. And what happened when you go out there? You go to the store manager say you gotta wear your mask. It happened on the outside. But then little things lead to big stuff. The police get involved, you already have a record of fighting and arguing or whatever, you were just out of jail, and then the manager said, no, please sir, wear your mask. No, he refused. Then you can't come to the store. That's it. You know, sometimes we gotta let the little things go. We either do as we are told or we walk away. You know? We have to accept the things we cannot change in life. And we have to cope with that. Right, Bradley?
Now wear your mask, please.
We are adults. We're in a program. We have to go to group. That's part of the curriculum. When you came here, you signed papers that say you at the House of Hope, and this is the curriculum. You got to go to group. You have to participate. You say yes, yes, yes. But then when you get so comfortable now, you don't want to do the things you're supposed to do. You have to comply. When you're ready to comply with yourself, then you're ready to change your mindset, your behavior. Okay? This is for everywhere and everybody. So addiction takes away your behavior. Your addiction makes you do things you would normally not do. Sometimes you're not aware of it. Anybody have any other question? Any concern about addiction? Being addicted, being in the wrong place, misbehaving, being defiant because you were under substances for some reason? Okay. All right, any next reading? Oh, should we say, where did we left off? The questions. You want to read it? The questions? Anyone?
At
Somebody?
times I have lost control over how much I drank or used drugs. Next.
Yeah, we could talk about it.
Oh,
Control. That happened all the time.
happened to me.
Yeah.
Um,
Sometimes we not only lose control over drugs or alcohol, we lose control just being in this program because we are so comfortable that we forget that this is a program. We've got to abide by the rules. No smoking. You have a time you got to be in your dorm. You can't go to each other's room. We lose control here, and it's not even drugs. It's sometimes we're going to the bathroom and smoke, and then again, it's just like anything. You walk in the street, there's a shootout, or somebody's in your car, right? And you the one who have the bad, you have something in your car, but you did not have anything to do with anything, but you go down with the person. Sometimes good people get into the wrong thing. Each and every time. We're bad neighborhoods, bad places, wrong places, you know? So we always have to use our coping skills, guys. Okay? Think before we react. If you don't know, ask. Okay? The next one.
At times I have lost control over stopping how much I drank or used drugs.
Now, what happens when we lose control? Are we aware of our whereabouts, Bobby?
Yeah, I'm aware about it, yeah.
When you lose control, you're aware of your behavior?
Oh, my behavior?
Yeah.
I don't know, it depends how you manage your stuff, man. Like, if you have no control, I heard a no, so maybe no for them, but for me, I know where I'm at. It might not be clear-headed, but I know what's going on and stuff, you know, I know how to react. Like when I was younger, I'd react a lot worse than I do now. I still have like certain ways, but I know what I'm doing. I'm more careful with what I say. You know, I can strike people with my words.
Okay, so you working toward changing your
No,
words.
some people deserve it.
You're working
I'm
on
just-
your proper, you're working toward using a proper word versus how you would
Well, look,
word
see,
it, your
this,
words.
This is what I'm better at now than I used to be. I used to act more out of impulse and say things that were just out of anger and weren't true, or would just make me feel better about what I'm saying. Now, out of anger, I can actually like say what I need to say and let it hit them deep without just being like, "Oh, fuck you, you piece of shit," you know, something like that, rather than saying like, "Okay, you know, you this, blah blah blah, you know, and you're always this," you know, like just so, like, I can be more like clear-headed and just actually like get it out better than just doing that. That doesn't refer to people in here. I really could care less about the people in here. I'm not gonna ever see these people again.
You gotta be kidding me. Can't be serious.
I'm just.
Wow.
And it's not that I have respect for everybody. Don't get me wrong. It's just I'm saying as
Oh, yeah,
I'm
that's your
not
opinion.
gonna, most of us and I are gonna see each other again.
Okay. All right, anybody
I'm
else?
talking about like personal family relationships or relationships out there.
Can we get?
Someone's
Say
cranky.
they don't care about your fellow man.
Yeah, Jackie doesn't care about anything today.
Okay, don't speak for Jackie, let Jackie
Sorry,
speak for
I
herself.
feel that he doesn't.
Okay, one thing we don't do, when we speaking, we used to say I, we can't say we,
I used to ice him.
okay? Yeah, let the person express themselves, please do not be their lip services. All right, okay, thank you for sharing. How about you?
Turn them off.
Well, throw them under the bus.
All right, Richardson, how are you? Can you say something on the group today? Who would like to tell him what we're doing?
I just can't recommend.
Yeah, I know, I just,
It's losing control of like your sound, but like your when your emotions flare up or whatever, like losing control.
I'm emotional, I guess, but I have to handle it different. I lose control sometimes, mostly when I'm in my addiction. So when I'm sober like this, I'm in control of my emotions.
okay. How about you, Mr. Michael? How you feeling?
I'm ready to go home.
Okay. I have never known anyone who ever have to live here forever.
It don't matter. I don't, it's not this place. Everybody else does it.
I have never. So, no, that's not to be. I'm just letting you know, you will, okay? But while you're here, make the best of it. How's that?
This ain't for me. This place
Okay.
for everybody else but me.
Okay. But we welcome you. We want to help you until you leave.
This place for everybody else besides me. That's how I feel.
Okay, I respect your opinion.
I look at it as he needs the most help in here.
Yeah.
Well, I can't say anything.
I know how to control myself. I don't do drugs. I never let a drug take me over. So I think he needed more than me. It ain't hard.
If it isn't drug for you, what made you say it is?
Psychological.
Nothing. I don't even supposed to be here.
Okay. All right. All right. Well, whatever it is, we welcome you. And we'd like to have you. All right. I should say welcome. Everyone is important here and play a role.
So they did something here to get me off the docket. I was never evaluated to get here.
Okay.
I had a possession of cocaine charge, and they used that against me getting out of prison. So,
Okay. Well,
So what are you gonna do different, Mike?
don't worry about what.
all right. Let's not reverse it to Mike. Let's follow up with the next.
Addiction involves preoccupation and obsession. People who are addicted often experience preoccupation and obsession with alcohol and other drugs. Drugs and alcohol preoccupation means that people think excessively by getting more of the substance, constantly planning when and where they will get the next drink or use it, and constantly about hiding the substance used from others. They just can't get it out of their heart, out of their heads. Their preoccupation forces people to ignore important problems of responsibilities. Exercise 4, please answer the following question. What are some examples of how you have lost control of your behavior while under the influence of alcohol and other drugs? Well, I lost control. I remember one time I was driving, I was on the influence, and I wrecked my car. I ran in a ditch. If I hadn't been under the influence, I wouldn't have ran in a ditch. I ran in a ditch. And I had to call a tow truck and get my truck out, which was more money than I had to pay. So.
You're lucky just to be alive.
Yeah. It's crazy stuff.
Have anyone ever have been in their own quiet home or in their own spare time and a friend just came in and said, hey man, let's go out for some game or some drink, and you find out what you went and done you end up in the wrong place and places that you wish you had never go, and there you goes your life. Have anyone ever had that experience? How did you deal with that?
I just cut her off. I mean, mine.
Were you able to? Did you learn from that? That's why your coping skill is very important.
Sometimes you got to learn from the experience of going with it.
Yeah.
So the experience, it may be bad, may be good. It just depends on what it is you're going to do. But either way, it's a learning experience either way. Good or bad.
In life, you have to make decisions. And before you make decisions, you have to look at all aspects. If I turn right, will that right work for me versus left? Going with John to the movie or to a party after I have been sober for 3 months, will that be a good sign for me to do? You know, you're in control. You have to know within, is that the right decision in the moment? You know, a lot of you are here, but sooner or later people will be discharged. And this is the time temptation is. When you have been in a facility for quite some time, and then now you go out, it's like, oh, I want to go to a party, or just like I want to have that Big Mac, you know what I mean? I want to eat this, right? And you say, wow, I gained 15 pounds. You know? I drink too much. So who in control? The temptation. Everything is here. So remember, whatever you do, you in control. Yes, Bobby.
When I'm on Xanax, I lose control of my emotions pretty easy. I'm pretty like closed off, and I push people away a lot, but I can be like very harsh and make harsh decisions, you know, and like really like just fuck up those people like close around me. Like I'm just a big asshole, you know, and I just don't want them around, you know, and it's for no reason. I'm just fucked up, and I think it's just part of me wants to just be isolated and alone, but the other party doesn't. So it's like fighting each other. So they usually like I've told somebody to leave before, and then like let them get like 10 minutes away, and I'm like, come back, you know. But that's just because I'm just angry for no reason. And then, you know, on opiates, I get like opiate rage really bad. You know, even when I first started taking my Suboxone, I was getting really mad. I remember that whole table I used to sit at with like Dietrich and Joseph and all of them. I remember I was just getting pissed off, but like, damn, dude, that shit makes me mad. I'm like, and I'm apologizing, and I'm not even trying to. I'm not trying to be mad. It's just, you know, it's just something I've always had the opiates. You know, sometimes I get opiate rage. You know, I used to take like a lot of morphine and stuff really happen. And I apologize and then snap again. You know,
So look at you now. You overcome that problem.
Yeah, well, I'm actually weaning off it. I'm down to 1 a day. I was at 2, I'm down to 1. And I'm hoping next week I can cut down to half. And I'm hoping by the time my date comes, I can either just be on half or just done completely, because this isn't something I want to take home with me.
Mr. Knight, how are you?
I'm all right.
How are you coping with anything that's get out of your way? How you cope with any kind of decision making and drugs? You ever lost control over anything? Because I saw you the other day when you were told that You had to wait for your medication, he snapped.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know, that was very small, but can you imagine you snap while you're on the outside?
Oh,
That could have led to a lot of problems, right? Yeah, what could you have done differently? Yeah, you have to work, all of you have to have a mechanism that works for you. Because when you go outside, you have to learn that, your coping skills, okay? Because outside is a jungle. Nobody know who you are, what you've been to, what kind of problem you had. We all walking, we all here out there walking. Just like we start from here, I leave my problem at the door, but I gotta pick up your problem. If not, I wouldn't be attentive to you, I wouldn't be smiling. But does it mean all of us are the same? No. And then when I leave, then I'll pick up my problem. So this is something we all have. We all have a weight to carry. And it's not how we dealt with it that so much matters. It's we are in control. Because sometimes I get cursed out. I could have cursed you out too, but I'm the bigger person. Why should I? It's not like I'm innocent. You know, I'm here to serve you. I'm here to help you. And I want you all to get better. But sometimes not everybody understands. And it takes time to be calm, especially if you're just coming from, you have so much in your plate and you're in a moment, everything is very confusing. You're coming to a new place, new rules. Of course, that's understandable. So you have to take life here one day at a time, okay? Don't overwork yourself. Don't overstress yourself. Your main concern is to work on your recovery. Have anyone feel that they are doing well right now? Since you started this program, anyone who's new? Have you felt like you're meeting your goal? You are less agitated than before? Less angry? No? Everyone is at their pace right now? Yes?
Yeah.
Okay. Bradley, you feel a lot better?
Yeah, when I first came here, I feel a lot better about my recovery.
Because I know when you get symptoms, that brings out all your anger. But you have to remember, every action has a reaction in life. Okay? Now you've done all these drugs, or whatever you did, drank, drugs, now it gives you a reaction. Now you are fighting to be sober, to be a productive citizen, to go out there and work and earn a living and have your own place, eventually, and have your family or whatever. That's what you are trying to reach out for. Okay, anybody else? Next.
All right, next one. In what ways have you become preoccupied or obsessed with alcohol or other drugs? When I was 17, I was doing coke a lot, you know, and it was kind of like an obsession because, I mean, it got to the point where I just put the controller down, I don't even play the game anymore. You know, I would literally be just sitting there making my next line while doing the line and just making everything so perfect just to do my coke, you know, and how I could do it next, like just making choppers or putting in a blunt, you know, and I always had a time limit. I tell myself, because I was on probation, and that I need to stop at this time in order to be clean by Monday. But it's not like that for me. You know, I can tell myself that time, but once it reaches that time, I'm like, just 5 minutes over won't make a difference. And that doesn't just be 5 minutes. That turns into the whole 4 o'clock in the morning. You know, I've said it before, but I spoke fluent bird because I've heard the birds so much in the morning. You know, that's the worst feeling ever, I feel like. Staying up all night and then hearing those birds, it's just, and in the Keys, I got roosters too, and I wasn't used to that. In Michigan, I had to hear birds.
Oh.
You hear those fucking
So you
roosters,
live
and
in
that's
the
even a
Keys.
worse feeling, you know? I'm like, oh, these, I feel like they're taunting me, like,
Uh-huh.
yeah, bitch, you're still up, you know, like, I don't know, I hated that, you know, and that's, as I got older though, I remember one time, I had one of my plugs, he, you know, I did coke with him one time, and I remember I was like, let's do another line, you know, and he was like, no, just chill, bro, like, let's play the game and chill, you know, like, and he was like teaching me, like, man, you don't have to do coke like that, like, you just do a line and hang out, bro, like, don't be a baser about it. Like, you should have told me. I'm like, I sat there and I was like, damn, you know, like, I didn't like that, you know, but it made me realize, like, damn, you know, I was kind of letting that shit, like, there's people I know, I don't know how the fuck they do it, but can just make like a grand last them all day, just because that's how they can do it. For me, I want, you know, I go in, but as I've gotten older, I've noticed, I don't like doing uppers anymore, because I feel like I've done so much, my heart's gonna explode, but I have enough energy as is. But as I got older, I mean, I've literally given out my last line and stuff. Like, I realized, like, I don't want that. I want to feel in control over it, and it not in control over me. That's something I had to break out of at a young age. You know, I was new to the Keys. You know, I spent my first 16 years in Michigan, and moving down there was just really stressful, and I didn't know how to deal with that. So that's the first thing I got into was just drugs, you know, and I found people lived down their whole life, and I was getting better deals than them just because, you know. But like I said, I mean, that's just how it is. Now, like, I have, well, when I was using, I had the control to just stop. When I want to stop, okay, I'm done. Like, I'm out. I don't need to go get more. That was my problem when I was younger, so it's just, it's really obsessive.
Hello, excuse me.
I don't really care for that shit. Any uppers, really, I don't I hate that shit. I look back and disgust just how much, like, I'm glad, like, there was times where I thought I was gonna have a heart attack, you know? But, that's all I got.
Thank you. I'm doing good. We cannot be distracted, okay? We have to give everybody respect. All right, thank you for sharing, Bobby. Somebody else, can we have the next episode with? Did you lose touch? Hello? Bobby was talking, guys. Wake up. Come on. Next one. Yes. All right, we have the questionnaire.
No, it's a reading. It's addiction right there.
Okay.
It's on page 8.
Okay.
Addiction involves using despite negative consequences. An addicted person uses alcohol or other drugs despite the presence of negative consequences and problems caused by the substance use. These negative consequences may include problems with physical health, psychological health, and social stability. These can include problems related to work, family finances, the legal system, and even spirituality. Addiction involves denial. Addicted people often experience distortions in the way they think, such as denial. In relation to addiction, denial is a psychological defense mechanism that protects people from seeing the harsh realities of their addiction. Denial is often described as an unconscious process, meaning that people are not intentionally lying, and they're not always aware that what they believe is not true. Thus, the denial process helps protect addicted people from the harsh realities of their addiction. It allows them to believe that nothing is wrong or that they can take care of the problem. Denial can take many forms. People may deny or not recognize that their drug use is a problem. They may not believe that their addiction causes serious problems to themselves or others. They may believe that their addiction is caused by other problems, such as arguments with the spouse, rather than recognizing that those other people are caused by the addiction. On the side, it says definition of denial is a psychological defense mechanism that protects people from seeing the harsh realities of their addiction.
All right, addiction, denial, spirituality.
Well, there's questions with it.
Yeah. How many people by hands believe spirituality works for them while they are while they're coping with addiction? How so? If I may ask you.
Because I feel that I've been trying to fill this emptiness inside of me forever. I feel that everybody has, a God hole that I call it, which is like to be filled with spirituality. Some people have a bigger hole than others, which is maybe explains why some people, become addicted to things easier than others, But I don't know because I'm not, no one has an answer for that. But as far as the spirituality part goes, it fills that emptiness that I've always felt inside of me with something positive, and it allows me to, balance my life and all the other things. It allows me to enjoy the other things in life that I was never able to enjoy before because I was always missing something on the inside. And so, it's not about religion. I know I confess a religion that I'm a part of, but it's not religion that makes me feel better. It's the spirituality that comes with that particular religion. And anybody can have spirituality in any religion. So don't think that like I'm some Bible thumper. I'm not.
No,
I believe in
understand.
spirituality.
Yeah, and it does help, for other people I have spoken with.
I found out through the times I've been to treatment like 3 times before. I've been to Banyan twice, and I went to First Step Sober House before. I found out that when I use my higher power to, like I get up in the morning, when I say I pray, I think about my day, and I think of my higher power as my strength. When I go through every day and every morning like that, and then throughout my day, I would I would keep it in mind and actually talk, talk in my head. I found out that them was the only times that I stayed clean.
Yeah.
Once I stopped that,
You find yourself.
that was it.
And it does work. It does work. Because you know what? That's why you have those moments of yoga, meditating, to each his own. Everyone finds different things that works for them. But spirituality is part of recovering also. You have a higher power. When you feel down, you feel in certain ways, you have that strength. And it helps ease your day. And you have something to look forward to in the morning, like you said. I have spoken with a lot of different clients in the past that found that has worked a lot for them, spirituality.
I was gonna say that I feel like, if you put if you look for something outside yourself to make you feel happy, whether that's work or drugs or working out or a woman or gambling or all these other things, eventually, people and things are not perfect. So eventually it's going to fail you. So when you have a higher power or God, for me, I have a never-ending source of power that's never going to fail. Where like I've been down, I've used other means and other objects and other people as a means to my happiness, where eventually that's all fallible. Everyone's gonna fuck up, excuse my language, because that's just the world we live in. Nothing is perfect in this world. The only thing that's perfect is my God.
Exactly.
And so that's the never-ending source of power that I need, that I know will never fail me.
And they keep you motivated.
Definitely keeps you motivated.
Anyone have any question regarding that? Spirituality, gentlemen in the back? The higher power, when you're feeling down, sad, you always reach out to your meditation, yoga. I know sometimes I notice some clients will go ahead and meditate. They'll take a few minutes. Even working out helps you because you need that space in the morning. I don't know if anybody ever pay attention. When you just wake up in the morning, you need that space before you face your peers or anyone else, because you don't know That's your first communication, that little space you have. Rather you said think your higher power and you're motivated. This is a new day. I'm gonna make the best of it. You know, you talk to yourself, you give yourself a hug, you look at yourself in the mirror and you look at you. You say, wow. If you're a man, you say, I'm handsome and I'm doing well, I'm dressing nice. I'm gonna change my behavior. You are your first I feel good. When you feel good inside, when someone else tell you, you already felt it. It's an additional compliment from someone else. But whatever you have within, it shine out. Your behavior, your attitude. Yes.
I was gonna say, actually, I think I can't remember, it's something health. It's actually a fact that if you work out just for an hour a day, it doesn't have to be like actually weights or anything, just exercise, any type of that, walking or anything. It actually helps your mental health big time, helps anxiety, depression, helps you sleep, and it can help you with preventing a lot of health problems. So I mean, just an hour, just simply walking laps, you know. And I know it's hard in here, but I see people walk laps, and that's just like it can help your mental health a lot. It's just I'm putting it out there. That's all.
And even if it wasn't your mental health, look in your room, say, oh my God, I accomplished something today. I made my bed. I cleaned my room. I changed how, well, here you can't change your bed around, but you fixed the drawer that was dirty. So the next time you go back to your dorm, you open the drawer, it's like, oh, I fixed that. I like it. You know, you're doing something different that you never used to do. So you're starting to you organizing your life in a different setting. It doesn't mean you have to wait till you graduate, you know.
That's like your room, you know. You ever just move everything around? Like my bed's on this side when I'm going like 1 year, something, a couple months, and I'm like, you know what? And you try it out, you're like, damn, this looks cool.
Yeah.
And, you know, like just moving your bed around and the TV around and shit, like that shit makes you just feel good because it's like, wow, like this is new, you know. Like when I was in Michigan, I was in the basement, and my neighbor, she bought a bed, and she's like, I got the wrong one. She gave it to me, it was a queen size bed, so I had this in the basement. My parents, so I had one at the couch, I had to get a new one, so I took the couch and put it downstairs. So it was just like this huge, like, but I would always rearrange it. I'm like, dang, dude, this is like, I got the setup, you know, like I'd have my buddies over, we'd just hang out. I had like a couch with TV and stuff, a little beanbag, my gaming chair. And it's a basement, you know, so the only thing that sucked was like, I didn't fucking, me and my brother would be arguing because he's on the other side, so we'd start talking shit to each other.
If you ever had a pet, that would be a nice way too. You play with your pet, you know. Unfortunately, we don't have any of that group here, you know. Guys, thank you for your time. Thank you. You have a choice. Hold on. You have a hello.
On your
Hey, you have a choice.
Hey, this shit's blurry as fuck.
Hold on to it because today is Monday.
Hey, Wayne.
Right?